All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at January 23rd, and we've got two sources for this. One is This Day in History, pretty straightforward.
Tried and true.
Exactly, the classic. And then we've got Pasted Text.
A little more, shall we say, colorful.
Yeah, a bit more pizzazz. So this should be interesting.
I think we're going to find some interesting stuff.
For sure. Should we just jump right in? Start way back in 1789?
Let's do it. Big year.
Huge. I mean, French Revolution, obviously, but also This Day in History points out that Georgetown University was founded. Pretty big deal for American education and all that.
Oh, absolutely. But, Pasted Text, they had to go and mention The Exorcist.
Because, of course. I mean, why not?
Right. Like, who would have thought? Founding fathers, they're all about, enlightenment and reason, and boom, demon-possessed kid on campus centuries later.
It makes you wonder what they'd think, right?
Totally. Okay, so moving on. 1845.
Yeah.
Congress decides that all national elections are going to be the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November.
Every single time. Pasted Text suggests, and I'm not making this up, that maybe they were thinking about football.
And a happy hour.
Yeah, avoid any conflicts. Got to get that first drink of the month in.
It's a funny thought, but who knows? Maybe there's something to it. What if there were some deeper reasons behind it?
I mean, we may never know.
Okay, so enough with the political intrigue. Let's jump ahead to 1916. Montana gets hit with this crazy weather.
Pasted Text calls it a temperature nosedive, like from 44 degrees Fahrenheit to 56 below zero.
In one day. They even said people were like rubbing ice cubes together trying to warm up.
And kids playing freeze tag actually froze.
Okay, that one's got to be made up. But still, what a crazy swing.
Wild, right. Okay, how about some media history? 1947, first educational program airs on NBC.
And get this, Pasted Text points out the title. Why are you wasting time watching TV? The irony, right? Like, whoa, meta much. Makes you think about how we consume, everything now.
Yeah, back then, educational TV was this new thing. Now we've got whole channels dedicated to learning, but are we really learning?
Maybe the question isn't the time, but what we're doing with it.
Good point. Okay, enough deep thoughts. Let's lighten up a bit. 1957, the Frisbee.
Well, sort of. That's when Walter Frederick Morrison sold the rights to his flying disc. Mm-hmm. What became the Frisbee?
To Whammo. And Pasted Text says he basically regretted that decision for the rest of his life.
Can you imagine? Like, what if he'd held on to it? Would the Frisbee be different?
Crazy, right? Okay, from flying discs to the deep sea, 1960, a record-breaking dive, something like 35,000 feet down.
Almost 7 miles.
Pasted Text mentions the captain had to go back down because, get this, he dropped his sunglasses.
Now, that's a story to tell.
Right. Okay, let's wrap up this first part with some rock and roll. 1964, the Kinks signed their first recording contract.
Of course, Pasted Text couldn't help but mention there were a few kinks in the contract.
Gotta love a good pun, right? But yeah, what a year and what a day, January 23rd.
For sure. So much happened.
From education to extreme weather to, sunglasses at the bottom of the ocean, and we're not done yet.
Nope, plenty more to come.
Okay, so we've time traveled through revolutions and plunges into the ocean depths. And now let's see what January 23rd has going on right now.
Well, according to Pasted Text, it's a pretty busy day for celebrations. We've got 3 going on.
3. Okay, lay them on me.
National Handwriting Day, for 1.
Interesting. In this digital age, you almost forget about putting pen to paper.
Right, like when was the last time you actually wrote something?
Good point. Okay, what else?
Measure Your Feet Day.
Wait, really? That's a thing.
Apparently. And, of course, National Pie Day.
Okay, that one I can get behind 100%. Pie is always a good idea. But it's funny, Handwriting Day in this day and age, that's kind of cool, actually, like a reminder to slow down or something.
Yeah, I get that. Get back to basics.
Exactly. So, folks, what's it going to be for you? Are you grabbing a pen and paper, measuring your feet, or going straight for the pie? Tough choice.
I might have to multitask on this one. Write a pie-themed poem while measuring my feet.
There you go. Okay, speaking of celebrating, Pasted Text gave us a whole list of notable birthdays for today. Ready for this?
Hit me with it.
First up, it's Tiffany Thiessen, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, wow. Class.
She's turning 51. Pasted Text even points out that she calls herself relatively modest on her website.
Well, that's nice to hear. Humility in Hollywood.
Right. All right, next we have Mariska Hargitay, turning 61. Law and Order, SVU, of course.
She's been on that show forever, hasn't she?
Yeah, and Pasted Text mentions that she's done a lot of advocacy work, around the issues the show deals with.
That makes sense. It's heavy stuff. You'd have to be affected by it.
Okay, ready for some music? Robin Zander, lead singer of Cheap Trick. He's turning 72.
He still wants you to want him.
There it is. That's the one. Okay, this next one's pretty cool. Richard Dean Anderson, the original MacGyver, he's turning 75.
No way.
Pasted Text says he's going to bake a cake out of, wire and duct tape.
Wait, what? Is that even possible?
That's MacGyver for you. And finally, we have Gil Gerard. Buck Rogers, he's turning 82.
Wow. So many familiar names, all born on the same day.
Wild, right? It makes you think, all these people, different lives, different paths, all connected by this one date.
Yeah, and when you think about what we've covered today, it's like this one day has seen revolutions, inventions, some really bad weather. It's a lot to take in.
Definitely a lot to think about. So, folks, we're about to wrap up this deep dive into January 23rd, but before we do...
All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into January 23rd. Wow, what a day, huh?
Seriously, we've covered so much ground here. I knew it was going to be interesting, but this has been wild.
Right. From Georgetown University to the depths of the ocean, from Frisbees to Cheap Trick, it's been a ride.
And we've got these two sources, too. This day in history, always reliable, gives you the facts.
The backbone, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Pasted Text, well, they definitely spice things up a bit. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, wait, is that true? Mm-hmm. But then again, that's what makes it fun, right?
Totally. It's history isn't just names and dates in a textbook. It's all these weird, crazy, funny stories, too.
Exactly. It's about people, And there's sunglasses at the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly. Okay, so as we wrap up, I gotta ask, out of everything we talked about today, what stands out to you? What's the one thing you're gonna remember about January 23rd?
Ooh, that's tough. There's so much. Maybe. Just the idea that, you never know what happened on a certain date. It could be something huge or it could be something totally random and funny.
Yeah, I like that. It's a reminder that history is happening all around us every single day.
And we're a part of it. Making history right now, even if it's just, figuring out how to celebrate Handwriting Day, Measure Your Feet Day, and Pi Day all at once.
There you go. Challenge accepted. All right, folks, that's our deep dive into January 23rd. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay curious.